So we started with a little chatting and some exposition. They were going to Thanatos, the 133rd level of the Abyss. This is Orcus's realm, so this is going to be full of undead. They decided they had a couple different ways to go. They have a plane shift spell. They also have a they have the train that can do a plane shift as well, and then the genie offered them a way to go as well, to sign on with some devils and jump in and ride them as a diversion into the portal. That was my preferred way. I was very excited with that, and I had a lot of stuff planned, but alas, you know, people don't always do what you want them to do, especially players. So I they headed out. I set the scene, busted the train in, and we jumped into a skill challenge. So skill challenge is something that I'm told is from 4th edition. I never played 4th edition, don't have any of the books, never looked at any of them. I am interested in getting, I believe it's the 2nd DMG that detailed the skill challenge, but I think I've got a pretty good handle on it anyway. So what the skill challenge is you take, you go around the table basically, or an initiative order, you figure out some order to go in, and the players come up with a skill that they want to use and how it's going to help their immediate situation. So like if you're trying to, you know, escape a rolling boulder, right, you can use your acrobatics to slide under a wall that's coming down that will block the boulder, something like that. So and then you set a difficulty class, and you set how many successes they need, and how many failures is usually 3. So a medium skill challenge is 8, an easy skill challenge is 5, and a hard skill challenge is like 11, I think. So I set it at 8. I wanted a medium difficulty skill challenge. The difficulty was 25 because we are in tier 3. We're pushing the upper bounds of tier 3. The upper half of tier 3, I guess. We've got some 15. The 2 new players, though, are level 11. So I fell short there, and they contributed to the failures more than the successes. The train streaked out of the sky. Lost in the Tabaxi Rogue shot lightning from the train down into a spot to distract the undead horde below them and kind of usher them that way. Miles, the half-orc cleric, used his athletics to kind of swing down from the train and shield bash a couple rows of enemies. Magnus used intimidation with both of his holy symbols in a come and get me kind of way, but that failed. Some rando, the only one with land vehicles profession, jumped into the Fell Reaver and headed down. Sombra used her knowledge of the plane by rolling Arcana to decide a good place to land and hide. Roger used stealth to bellow out a steam cloud from the train and hide their trajectory, I guess is the word. Ark used persuasion to keep everybody calm. Loston used performance. I kind of talked him into that because I thought that'd be really cool, him standing on top of the Fell Reaver playing his pan flute. I said that he failed this though because it was not one of his highest skills. I gave him inspiration anyway. I think I did. If not, take inspiration, Loston. I said he played Ride of the Valkyries on the pan flute, which doesn't sound so good, so it did not intimidate them. Miles uses perception to guide the robot down to a good landing space, and Magnus, for the last fail, used his religion to find a weakness for the undead horde. I rolled 2d20 damage for the crash landing. At the last moment, someone cast Featherfall, so everybody kind of floated down, not taking damage, but the Fell Reaver took 23. Not sure what the damage rating is on the Fell Reaver. The damage threshold is 10, so it's got to be anything below 10, it ignores. Basically, I used Descent into Avernus for the Fell Reaver stats. It is an infernal machine. I thought it would be very cool to give them one of those as soon as I read it, but I didn't like the vehicle aspect of it, so I giant mech is better, right? All right, let's see here. So the Fell Reaver tumbled to the ground. They landed the train safely and put the Fell Reaver back onto the train. And then they entered the maze of Scanafell. This is from Ian World Insider, N5er. I recently resubscribed to the Patreon and started using some of the stuff. It's pretty good. The only thing I did not like is I had to add it to Roll20. It's kind of pain in the butt, so I probably will not be using a lot of NPCs from them, but I'll probably be using a lot of the other stuff. All right, so upon entering the maze, I showed them to this fancy maze right here. I proclaimed last night as Minigame Night. I guess I missed out even more. All right. So basically what we have here is a grid. And I told them they can move to any room in the maze that they like. It doesn't matter the order of discovery. The person I read this from had it go top down. I'm thinking maybe I should have done top down. It might have been a little easier. So the way it works is these are all squares. You choose a role, and then it's like a skill challenge. Sorry, you choose a skill. I changed the DC to 21, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to change that back up to 25 the next time we play. If you make it, then you just uncover the first square. If you fail, you uncover one square farther than you are. If you fail more than 5, you move 2 squares over. So you can see they did a lot of not failing here. This last one here was the one they finally failed on, and that exposed out to 3 here. So what that's going to do next time they roll, say they go to storage next, they're going to go straight down if they succeed. And if not, they're going to go, if they succeed by more than 5, they're going to go left 1. If they fail, they're going to go right 1, and fail by more than 5, they are going to go right 2. You can spend resources to minimize that. I was saying 4 resource points, key, spell, sorcery points. The paladin had lay on hands. We agreed that 5 would count as 1 because he got 5 a level, so he'd have to spend 20. I think that sounded fair. Everybody agreed, so I didn't hear anybody holler, hey, I only get 1 sorcery point a level or something like that. All right, so the first one they went to was the shrine. There was a little rat man there. Ratatosk, warlord. He has been here. His name is Dvork. He has been here for months, he said, and the players, of course, do not trust him because, I don't know. It's probably got something to do with my DM style. So the players immediately wanted to roll Insight. Insight's one of those weird rolls, but I asked for some fiction around it. Miles said that he wasn't sure of this guy and he wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to stab him in the back. Insight's kind of like, I want to insight this guy, kind of almost makes sense in the fiction. He described it a little better though, like seeing his mannerisms and seeing how he acted and if he was really there, had really been there for months. So I like that a lot better. I of course did not make him roll Insight because if he failed, there was no interesting option. Of course I could have made it if he failed, then he was a bad guy, right? But that would kind of defeat the purpose of my whole maze thing here. So no interesting outcome, no roll needed. Magnus jumped on board almost immediately after that, asking for insight into if he was stabbing him in the back or not. That he was desperate enough to get out to stab the party in the back or not. And again, no complication can arise from this, so no roll needed. No, he doesn't look like he's going to stab you in the back. He's very happy to see you, in fact. So he offers to aid them in their quest through this maze if they will get him out. So I said that will give you an extra roll. It will give you an advantage on one of your rolls if you'd like to use it. Second was the second NPC in here. They headed down to the workshop. So the workshop, there was a Valkyrie there. And of course, one of our characters is a ladies' man. He's a player, I guess. I would call him. He's the face, the wild sorcerer. He immediately started hitting on her, and her being celestial, so probably not her, but more like it being celestial, did not take it well. And immediately, again, Magnus stepped up and was like, hey, so you said you were cursed to this place. Can I, use my hands to remove curse from you? And she said yes. And then she got the curse removed. She faded away. I said they get inspiration for that as well. So from there, they went to the shrine. And the shrine was a shrine to Orcus. This is the second shrine. Worthless tapestries, shrine to Orcus, and an ornate rug, very clean, lying on the floor. The players go for the rug because it's obviously out of place here and obviously magical. As soon as someone touches the rug stands up and bows and says, if you answer my question, my riddle, you can take me as a magic item. So the riddle is to name 3 NPCs in the game, in this world. It came very fast. I had forgotten kind of about the train and about how many NPCs that Loston had just created. So he rattled off 3 right away. The others tried to in turn, and it was pretty easy for them to get 3. Now, the farther right you go on these squares, the harder it gets. Name 3 NPCs just went to 4, to 5, to 6, to 7. I believe there's a blank space here at the end, which would have made it so they would have to re-investigate this area. All the while, we have a clock ticking here in the background. This is the time pool. I use this once it hits 6. I roll an encounter. I haven't really perfected my random encounter yet. I really like the way it is used in Ultraviolet Grasslands. There's an encounter table. You consult the encounter table, and then you roll on the encounter table 3 dice. I have 6 dice in my dice pool, so I started rolling 6 dice. I'm not sure exactly what I do with those, but here's my dice roll. I've got d12s in the dice pool. So I've got intensity, type, and hostility. So the intensity would be kind of like how many and how hard. The type would be the roll on the encounter table, and the hostility would be a reaction roll, basically. So I've got to go through and kind of detail this a little better. I am right now just kind of eyeing it and saying, all right, yeah, that's what we're going to do. Last night, my random encounter roll, it was the first row was like all like below 5, so I was like no encounter at all. So it's something that I'm experimenting with and working towards. I like the idea of rolling all my time pool dice, even though I'm probably only going to read 3. I was thinking, if intensity is high enough, I can use both from the type. If hostility is high enough, I could use both from the intensity. I haven't really decided exactly how that's going to work. But, it's D&D. It's a work in progress. We'll figure it out soon. All right, so let's see. So they get to, after the shrine, they headed to the drinking well. So in the drinking well, their Ratatosk friend says, oh, wait, here, there's a shining wire here. Let's step over this wire because there's a fire trap here. And I gave the person advantage on the roll. They spotted the trap, which is, if the trap is in the first row here, it would be found the trap, no damage. And the farther you get to the right, the more damage it will do. So after the drinking well, they went to the guard room, I believe. It was the guard room or the storage. I think it was a storage room because they had not had any encounters. And the storage room had a bunch of treasure in it. So basically it had an embroidered glove set with jewels, a his and hers set. And so there were 2 pairs, his and hers, and they were covered in blood, worth 5,000 gold. And a gold circlet set with 4 aquamarines, worth 2,500 gold. These are kind of just standard DMG objects of art I was rolling up. This is a cache for a tier 4 monster, which is basically what Sacrifel is. Sacrifel? Was that his name? Scanafel. Man, I'm not going to get this. I need to go back to practicing names. And then after the storage, that's when they started hitting monsters. So they hit the first guard room. Doing well there. Only getting the first box, which was 2 Hezru. What are they called? Hezru. And these are demons. They are type 4 demons, I believe. No, type 5 demons, I believe. They are just above Nalfishi, which are what they're looking for. They're looking for to get demon fingers to open this portal to Jeb, which is where Sararak is. So as you can see here, this guy's got 4 fingers on each hand, so they now have 8 demon fingers. And then I believe after that, they went straight to the last one on here, and the last one they uncovered. The pool, the workshop pool. Also, they got leather +3 and chain +3, which people put on almost immediately. Magnus got some good stuff in this session. He got the chain, and then he got something else. I want to say, I don't remember what it was, but he got something else as well. In this workshop, there was a pool of water in the corner. It looked nice and fresh and drinkable. And of course, Miles was like, I drink from it. And everybody was like, no, 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 wait. So Miles was stopped from drinking the water. And they investigated the pool a little bit. Nothing magical, nothing, what is it, divine sense, nothing celestial, fiend, or fae. So they were like, all right, dude, go ahead and drink it. So they 3 over. So they encountered 3 earth elemental myrmidians. Let's see here. So that was pretty much the end of the session. That was about 10:30. We talked a little bit after that. I have a list of things I need to do here. I need to work on a piercing arrow for Roger. I had this last week and I didn't copy the link down. I need to work on Magnus's macros because I put some trash macros in there for him. Kill a demon in the abyss for Ishash the Mighty, and that's what they did. Or that's what they're working on. Blue leading info is, I think I talked about this last week. It's the cleric's god, which the cleric does not have very much info on, and he feels a little restricted in creating it, I think. So I wanted to help him out with that. Stats for each member of the train. We came across something last week where we needed to know some stats for these people. And I haven't decided how I'm going to stat them up. Obviously, I will take a look at Acquisitions Incorporated, see what their recommended are, see if they should be tier 3 characters, and I may just use sidekicks because that's easy. Sidekicks or followers from Strongholds and Followers. Yep, Arrows of Piercing already up there. All right, and that's what I've got to do this week. I've also got some editing to do. I've been slacking on editing my stuff. So I have 2 podcasts now and 2 actual plays to edit. I'll probably do the podcasts first because they will be easiest, and then the actual plays will come afterward. So hopefully I'll start cranking these things out, and we'll get back to a podcast a week and a video a week. That would be amazing. An edited video a week, not just me streaming. So I would be very excited to do some of that. That's about all I got, guys. Not too much else. Oh, let's see. Do RPG a day here real quick. All right. So where did we end last week? I would say we ended on 5, Tribute. Forest. It's an environment that I like to use a lot. I like the Dark Forest theme. I like the Nursery Rhymes theme. Kobold Press put out a great Forest encounter, Margrave. Not encounter, Adventure Path. I've not finished reading it. I am so behind on reading my stuff. I keep getting new stuff to read, and my players keep going new places, and I keep buying more stuff to read, and it's not working out very well for me. Couple. It's something I don't use a lot in RPGs. I very rarely have couples. Most people are single that the players interact with. Maybe that's because the couples don't want to get involved. They don't want to risk their family by fooling around with adventurers. One of the best theories I heard about adventurers was that the people of the town really didn't like them. They came around, they threw their gold around, they made a mess of the town, and they beat up the monsters around, causing more monsters to come, and while the players leveled up, the monsters leveled up, and the town got worse. Shade. Darkness is something I really like in a game. I dislike. I don't know. Dark vision in 5th edition is really prevalent. And I both like it and don't like it. I find it annoying because if you want to play a human, then you're like the only one without dark vision. I think there's like 2 other races, maybe Dragonborn and something else. So you don't get that that thing, and you're a hassle to the rest of the party. Kind of, it's a bit of annoying. You got to carry a torch. Call yeah. You got to carry a torch and be kind of a beacon in the dark for monsters. And that's not always a good thing. That is definitely not a good thing. Light goes back to kind of the same thing I'm talking about there. Light in the darkness is not a good thing in a dungeon, especially when you've got monsters running around who can see in the dark. I do like playing with light. 5e has some pretty good dark vision rules. I don't mind them. They give you disadvantage in low light, so I forget to use that. You know, we were doing skill checks last night with perception, and I forgot to use it. Let's see here. So 10 is want. Want. I tend to feed the players' wants. The players in this game have been buying a lot of magic items, buying a lot of specific magic items, and I'm letting them do it. I think that sometimes it's good to give into what the player wants, because they want to have fun too, right? And adding a specific magic item for a specific build kind of makes it my job more interesting, makes it more fun, right? I've got to crank up the levels. Like they got the Sword of Perun last week, which allows you, when you do an attack, to let somebody else do an attack on their off turn. And of course that gets passed on to the rogue, who does a massive attack. So that doubles his damage for every combat round. And that is significant. It is very, very significant. So I'm going to have to start cranking up monster difficulty after this dungeon. Stack. I don't like stacks of items. I like the way I think Black Hack started it with the usage die. I really dig rolling a die and, you know, seeing randomly whether you used it or not. And today's is message. Message. Makes me think of the message spell, which is a kind of a tweet or a text message in D&D that lets you communicate with somebody far away. And it's one of those things that can be used very well. I had a NPC party wipe, and the last living member was the mage, and she sent a message, and that message was not able to be returned, and the PC knew that, so he knew that the party had been killed. Yeah, so that's it, folks. Thanks for listening.